Every guitar has a story, and this one's got a great one. Gibson does not want me to own this guitar.
So what is it? I know you've been hiding from the law.
Been on the run.
Yes.
All right, so what I thought it was a TV yellow Les Paul Jr., but it's technically a one pickup Les Paul Special. And the story goes, in 2010, I wanted a Les Paul Jr. TV yellow. I thought it was cool. And I'm looking online trying to find used ones. And Guitar Center had one. There was no picture, but they said it's a TV yellow Les Paul Jr. And so I called to be like, hey, what's the story of this guitar? And they said, well, it's that, but it has a tune-o-matic bridge on it as opposed to the regular wraparound. So it has the two-piece like you'd find on like a Les Paul Standard.
Yep.
So you can intonate it, which you can't do with a wraparound like a Junior. And I was like, that's cool. I'll use that. And they said, also it's chewed up by the headstock, where if you use the wall hangers where it just grabs the top right there, eventually it chews away the nitrocellulose finish.
Oh.
So right where you could see where it was hanging is all chewed up on both sides.
Huh.
And I was like, oh.
I'm worried about my guitars at home.
Yeah. Well, so it only does it for nitrocellulose.
Older.
So like fenders are fine. Anything that has poly finish is fine. But a lot of if you have a white Les Paul, it'll start to like stain right there. It just reacts to the chemicals.
Okay.
But if it sits for a very, very long time, it'll eat through like this one does.
What year is that?
So that was my next thing. I was like, how long did it sit there? So I was like, I don't care. Send me the guitar. So I was working at our Guitar Center at the time. They send it came from the Hollywood store. So I'm like, all right, well, I got to check.
Okay. All right. This is making sense now.
Yeah. So it comes from the Hollywood store. So I go to check the serial number on the back. So to date, most Gibsons, you take the first digit and the fifth digit. So this one is 9-1. So it's from 1991. And then the middle three, I think, tell you the day of the year that it was made. So I was like, all right, it's 1991. And as I start looking through the back, you got to like get it in the light to see it. I see there's something else stamped in the back. And it says promotional, not for resale. So I'm like, well, I just bought this thing. It says promotional, not for resale. And as I keep looking on the top, it doesn't say Les Paul Jr. It says Les Paul Special. So I was like, well, I'm keeping it, but there's some question marks hidden in this guitar. So I called Gibson, and I was like, hey, I have this guitar. I don't know what it is or what's going on. And the guy I talked to on the phone gave him the serial number, and he's like, oh, that was it says it's a one pickup Les Paul Special. Because the Special is the student model that has a flat top and would usually have two P90 pickups. And he's like, this one only has one. And Specials could have a wraparound bridge or a tune-o-matic. So it's Special, just only has one pickup. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I think it had a P100, which is like a stacked P90, like a humbucker P90.
Okay.
I've since changed it to a regular one. And I was like, yeah, but it also says in the back, promotional, not for resale. Like, what's up with that? And he's like, doing some digging. He's like, oh, yeah. So in the early 90s, because it was 91, Gibson had these like showrooms where if you were like an artist, so say like Slash was like, I'm going to do a new video and I need a super cool one-of-a-kind guitar for my video. They're like, oh, yeah, just go to the showroom, just take what you want and bring it back when you're done. But they didn't keep great records of who took which guitar. So I was like, okay, so somebody took this guitar. He's like, yeah, I guess they must have taken it and just never returned it because it's not for resale. So at this point, I just slowly hang up the phone. I'm like, can't give them the information of who I am, except keeping this guitar. So then I talk with our management. I'm like, okay, so who took the guitar? Like, whose guitar do I have? I really want to know now. So we start going through all the receipts of like every time the guitar changed hands through Guitar Center to find the original receipt of who bought it in. And it's like, okay, so we see this name.
How many times did it get recycled through the store?
I think it had been sent from like Hollywood to like another one that like had gone through, or it had been like every time it's sent on a ticket like to another store and sent back. So they get moved around for different reasons.
Okay.
Like somebody would want it for different things. But so it goes back and it went back a few years. And because it had been in there for a while. The reason I bought it is because it had gone down to clearance because it had sat for so long. Probably because it's chewed up and whatever. So anyways, we find the original person who sold it. And the name, I believe, said Bill Mummy, I think is the name. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Let me double check my records right here. It was, Bill Mummy, M-U-M-Y. And I was like, I have no idea who that person is. So we Google him. And what comes up is Bill Mummy was an actor who also later in his life did film scores. His most notable acting role was playing Will Robinson on Lost in Space in the 1960s.
Very familiar with that. Danger, danger, Will Robinson.
Mark Turley has your guitar, yes. So later, after in his life, he was a composer and would do a lot of scores for movies and TVs. So he was a Gibson artist. He was sponsored by Gibson during that time and got a guitar, allegedly. Somewhere in the journey, the guitar ended up at Guitar Center. So I was like, but that might not be the same guy. You don't know. It's just, that's a name on a ticket in Hollywood. So we went, and as we're Googling him, we find his website. He has a big guitar collection, and he has all the photos of his guitar collection. So I see a yellow Les Paul, looks like a Junior with a Tune-O-Matic bridge. And we like zoomed in, and there's a little dimple on the 9th fret.
Okay.
And mine has the dimple on the 9th fret. So I got it. I'm not getting rid of it. This is affectionately known.
You don't think you're getting rid of it, but the Gibson assassins are going to come to reclaim it now.
Come at me, bro. So yeah, this is lovingly referred to as the Lost in Space guitar.
Oh, that's epic. What's the color?
So supposed to be TV yellow.
Why is it TV yellow? TV?
Yeah.
Like television?
Yeah.
Which is funny that it came from a guy that was on a TV
I know,
show.
yeah, right. This is, a little more mustard than like traditional TV yellow. It was called TV yellow because in the 50s, when Gibson was starting, you would have black and white TVs. So if you were going on TV and you played a black guitar, it was a black guitar. If you played a white guitar, the way the lights in the camera would work, the white would get washed out.
Yeah.
So it didn't look right. But there's this shade of yellow that they would make their guitars that if you brought on TV, it looked white.
Okay.
Even though it was really yellow.
All right.
Just because it didn't reflect the light as harsh. So they called it TV yellow. So I thought that was like a super cool history thing. I'm like, oh, I have a guitar that's not, it's part of history, and now it's Will Robinson's guitar, and now it's my guitar.
I want to know, is he alive?
Yes, as far as I know.
I want to know what happened to the 9th fret. I think we should contact him and be like, what'd you drop on it, man?
What did you do?
Like, we got this.
I want you to fix that for me.
Yeah.
It's this little weird dimple that's like right next to
Somebody
the fret
shot
marker.
a laser blaster at him in space.
Maybe something, yeah. I don't know. He was lost in space with it. It took a while.
It's pretty. It's got some dings. Not even at the top. You've got.
Oh yeah.
It's well loved.
I will say. I will say some of these dings are probably for me because I took this on tour like a lot.
Okay.
So
all right.
There's definitely times when we were on the road in the winter and I would like open the case and suddenly I'm like, I didn't notice all that checking under the finish before. And you're like, well, yeah, the temperature just dropped 50 degrees. And you're like, oh yeah, that's why guitars do
Sat
that.
in a van in the ice overnight.
Yeah, this thing's got some miles on it. So some from me, some from Will Robinson. So it's my Lost in Space guitar.
Awesome.
You can't have it back, Gibson. I'm keeping it.